Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Four Dads Podcast. You're with Don Julio and myself, Teeds, and just want to thank you guys for joining us again. I want to thank again everybody for your love and support from watching this on Spotify, YouTube, also everyone on our TikTok. Oh, we got over 500 followers now. Julio's been killing it so far, and on the Instagram side of things, think around like in the mid 80s, nothing crazy, but I feel like TikTok is the place to be, and that's not my cup of tea. Fortunately, Julio's wife has been hooking him up with all the right hashtags and everything, and
Yeah.
we've been figuring everything out. Yeah, just want to thank everyone for the support and just checking out our podcast. But this podcast is obviously called Four Dads, and Tony Finau. If no one has watched the full swing on Netflix, obviously recommend it.
If you
They have a
haven't, you need to get on it.
you got to watch it. You got to it's really cool just to see the personal side of players. And it obviously has a full episode on Tony Finau and the fact that he, takes his family with him on the road. He's got 5 kids and he's married. Great. Just seems like the ultimate dad. Just seems like he has a great time with his kids, always enjoys himself. Seems like a fun guy to be around. And this weekend for the PGA Tour, they hosted their tournament in Mexico for the Mexico Open. And I think over the last few years, Victor Hovland has been winning this tournament.
Right.
But Tony Finau actually pulled it off, and he defeated John Rahm by 3 strokes at 24 under to 21 under. And I was just talking to Julio before this, and I've been showing him a few of these videos that have been popping up. But literally a few hours after he won, he was caddying for his boys, just randomly, just holding their bags, walking with them while they're playing golf. And I just thought it was the coolest thing because that's ultimately what a dad is,
Yeah.
And I
But
mean,
I
yeah.
before we dive into that, me and John or me and Teeds were looking at it. I mean, that's an average of six to five under a day. Like that's impressive. That's
On the PGA
solid
Tour, a
golf
tough
on
course,
the
not an easy
yeah.
course, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And a few weeks back we shared a video I think about Will Zalatoris, and he really highlighted like how do you I think the number one question that we get on TikTok and especially from like Danny Dollars, huge shout out, thank you for all the support, man. You've been awesome. One thing that he's always asked is how do you take your handicap from being like a double digit to a single digit to a low single digit to then
Hmm.
a plus? And Will Zalatoris, really breaks it down. He's actually kind of like, if that's what you inspire for, like, then do it. He's like, it's pretty boring at that point, like he's like being he said being a 3 to a plus 2. He's like, it's boring golf. Like
Hmm. Hmm.
you are actually your way around a course. You're doing well. You probably play great in skins games, but ultimately he's like, the mental game is so tough. It's
Hmm.
so grueling because if something goes wrong, you're constantly questioning yourself and doubting yourself if you're going to do it again on the next shot. And he goes, and that's the biggest part, is like, that's how you really separate, is the mental game.
Hmm.
And, you know, to be a professional and constantly be able to like perform at that level consistently. I mean, it's really impressive to us. It's like, holy smokes, maybe because we'll never sniff like a 61 in our life, maybe because we'll never ever ever get the feeling of a hole in one, or even an albatross from a chip in, on a
Hmm.
par four from 150, maybe even 100 yards in,
Yep.
like, or I'm sorry, that would be an eagle, sorry, but an
Yeah. I didn't
albatross,
want to say
if it
anything, but
happens,
yeah.
but like I mean, think about it. Like even during the what was it, 3 years ago? 4 years ago at the pro am at Pebble Beach, some random guy made an albatross. He holds it out from the tree, like just rolls on up, finds the hole. Is like, maybe we
Oh
would
my
never get that.
gosh.
I mean, I've been a witness to 4 hole-in-ones. My
Oh
really good
wow.
friend my really good friend Tony, when we went to Pasatiempo for the first time we ever played it. um we were on a par five. I think it was the 12th hole. Yeah, it was the 12th hole. He hits an amazing drive. He's got 275 out. 275 out, and
Jeez.
he smokes a 3-wood, like keeps it below the wind, catches the little slope, it's rolling, and the group is finishing their putt like on the hole.
No way.
All of a sudden we yell four, and the ball came inches, inches from going in. Like they even pulled the flag just so it would go in, and it came just short. And they like were clapping
No.
their hands. I mean, it was unreal. Like we couldn't believe how close it was. It was probably the easiest eagle putt I think Tony had ever had in his entire life.
Jeez. I mean, like, but like you said, like with Will Zalatoris and boring golf, I feel like a lot of golf that you see like those memes where it's like, I'm gonna be smart today, and
Yeah,
then like after I shoot like three over on the first two holes, I'm just like ripping driver on every hole, like not caring. And I mean,
yeah,
like that's where golf is somewhat fun. You're just whacking the ball, just seeing how far it can go. But when it comes to boring golf, it's like, okay, taking your high percentage shots, not taking those risky moves where it's like, oh, you have a tucked pin, behind a bunker or in front of a bunker where you have like
yeah.
barely any room, let's go for the middle of the green to give myself a potential two putt, maybe a birdie opportunity.
Hmm.
I'm actually going to go for the pin. But
Yeah.
half the time, you either hit it short, you chunk it, you hit it into the sand, or you hit
Or you
over the
go
green.
long.
Then you give
Yeah.
yourself, yeah. So there's so many things that, like you mentioned, again, it comes in between your ears where it's just like, do I want to be aggressive, or you got to pick your spots, obviously, on when to be
Yeah.
aggressive and when not to, and that's not what
Well,
99.9% of us want to do
yeah.
or can do consistently.
Will kind of goes into it. He's like, if you're that good and you're going to your local course, right? He's like, it's hard to want to consistently be that good because one, no one wants to play you, so you're playing super good just for the joy of it. You're
Hmm.
not having anything in reward. And he goes,
Yeah.
and on top of that, the harder thing is that when you play men's groups, when you're playing member guests, like you're the ringer, so you're playing
Yep.
against the field, and that was
Hmm.
like what I experienced at my tournament where I was the +3, but because we played a tee up, I moved up to a +4. I had to go, I had to go, and make eagle, birdie, birdie on the first 3 holes to be back to par against the field,
It's insane.
right? And so it's kind of like, yeah, like that's, I mean, that's a great start. Like that's like a one
A
in 10
dream
start.
start. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's no way. And
Hmm.
I think I get where his point is. And I think a lot of other, great golfers out there, understand it too, is yeah, getting there and saying, yeah, I'm a +1. Like you stick your chest out and you
Hmm.
let everyone know, like, yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
+1.
Right.
But when it comes tournament time, dude, it's brutal. If the whole field is nowhere near you, yeah, you get a
The
nice little
short end.
surprise. Yeah, you get the short end of the stick for
Oh
sure.
man. Well, I'll never
But
have to worry about that. But yeah.
don't cut yourself short. You have really good game for for as much as you play. Like I think you don't give yourself enough credit. I mean, the shots that you send me just for the times that we've played, like you hit the ball well. Where it gets tough is obviously those shots within 80 yards, 100 yards. I think
Oh
everybody
yeah.
struggles there,
Right.
you
Right.
know.
Right.
But to go back into like what you mentioned of Tony Finau, like great performance over the weekend. I didn't watch too much of it, but to see him win after everything that I saw from Full Swing,
Hmm.
I got a special place in my heart for that guy and what he does. I think he's the type of father and the type of husband that we all strive to be. Is
Hmm.
hey, it's family first, day in and day out. And
Yep.
what I was gonna say, I know I kind of have been hanging on to the mic here for the whole time, but um, but what I'm leading up to is that, and you can relate to this. I know you can. Is like our fathers, right? Like
Hmm.
my fondest memories with my dad are the ones that are out on the road, like going to baseball tournaments, going to practice. Sitting in the car and talking situational play about baseball. What would you do here? Like, you got you got a 2-0 count, you got pitches, or I'm sorry, an 0-2 count, you got some pitches to waste. Like, where would you want to do that and why? Right? Like
Hmm.
challenging yourself. Um, and to, I think the greatest thing that we have as fathers in this time right now is time, right? Like
Yeah.
instead of playing PlayStation, instead of going out and playing 9 holes or playing 18 for 4.5 hours, like spending it with Carter, spending it with my daughter, like, it's memories that will live a lifetime for us, and they go by quick, like
Mm-hmm.
just today. I mean, Adelina turned 7 months. It's crazy. It's like, where's the time gone?
I
You
know,
know?
right? Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that. I feel that. I know, like, especially when you start looking at photos, like when she was born, or when your kid was first born, or the first couple months, and you're just like, for I know for me and my wife, it's like, we know this is Carter, but it really does not look you can tell it is Carter, but it's such a change over just a
Yeah.
year or over a few months. They
Yep.
change so much, and also you look at him and you're like, I don't remember him looking that way. Like I
Yeah.
remembered him cuter, or I remembered him looking this way. I remember
Yeah.
him looking that way, and it's not like any love is lost or anything, but it's just like the way that we see our kids is something that you don't realize until you really look back. And obviously, we're only a few months into it, a few months into the game, but yeah, it's crazy, especially now with him, dude. He walks and runs all over the place, and he used to be a chunky little monkey, like, because it's how babies are when they don't move, like they're overweight. But when they start walking, dude, his legs are so thin now. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. I'm like, my mom told me, like, hey, yeah, that's how every baby is until they start walking, and then they're all over the place. They're walking around, they're running around, and they just burn so many calories, and it's insane.
No, man. No, I agree with that. I mean, we were just looking at pictures of the week we had first brought Adelita home, and her sleeping in her little Daka talk, like while we were like,
Yep.
doing laundry or just watching a movie, trying to like do something, so in that way it's like it's quiet,
Hmm.
we're just relaxing, you know um everything, man. I mean, she was like just this little peanut inside of her Daka talk, and now
Yeah.
she barely fits in her car seat. I have this
Hmm.
little thing, and like she like kicks her feet up all the way up on top, and she's just like, "Yeah, Dad, I'm just here. Like, what's up?" Right? And now, she's getting to a point to where like she's eager to start crawling. Like, she's
Hmm.
very
Yep.
eager to do it. So it's pissing her off. Like, why
That
can't I
she's not
move
able
this? I
to. Yeah.
want to.
Right.
And then, we lift her up, and she just kind of stands there, and she's like, okay, what do I do?
Right.
Like,
I didn't
I,
expect
I
to
got
get
my
this
hand.
far.
Yeah, I got my hands down. My knees are underneath me. What do I do?
I'm blanking
And
right now. I know what to do. I just blanking right now.
yeah, and it's just crazy, man. Like, Issa showed me a video not too long ago of where she took her out, and remember how, like, I'm sure Carter did this, where like their legs are curled up, their legs are all curled up as you're picking them up, and it's
Hmm.
like now she's just all stretched out. She's like
Yeah.
she's as long as Issa's whole entire torso, and here she is weighing 20 pounds, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, I just came from the gym, like, holy crap. It's crazy. It really is crazy, and you don't really realize how much you miss out on certain things. Like, it's wild how, like, now she's like she's so in tune with everything that we're doing. So like, if we're having conversations, she'll sit there and just be like, uh-huh. And then, like,
dude, Carter is trying to babble now, man. He's literally
yeah,
like, die, 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 die. Like,
yeah. So
legitimately. It's
so
hilarious.
so Adelina is doing that a lot now, and like we've cut back on like her Miss Rachel time. Like, we're trying not to
Hmm.
like give her too much of it. I mean, we never let her finish an entire episode. We're like, hey, you got 30 minutes. So take in your favorite parts, get your smiles in, laugh when you want to,
Make it count, Adelina.
yeah,
Make it count.
make it count. And so that's like what we do. But ultimately,
Hmm.
like, she loves playing with her toys. She loves like sitting next to me, and like if I'm playing like 2K, or if I'm playing like Modern Warfare or something, she's like totally just like, hey. Or even like I was saying, like today I posted a video on TikTok of, taking your kid to the range. Like, she
Hmm.
loved it, dude. Like, she was just like blown away by like, whoa, like, whoa, Dad, you're hitting the ball so far. She has no idea like what I'm doing, but you could tell
Right.
her eyes were just like this. And then she's like all amazed by everything around her, like the palm trees, and it
Right.
was cool, you know?
Man, I mean, if Carter wasn't walking and trying to like, I'd be worried if I just like tried to swing. One, he'd be behind me by the time that I was trying to swing. Two, he'd go after something that he would see. But I know we were talking about like getting our kids into sports and stuff, and I feel like the sports that are easiest to do that you can actually do with them is probably golf. You know, like playing baseball, you might have to wait like a couple years, like 2 to 3 years, before they can actually play in a legitimate league with like other 2 to 3 year olds or whatever. Same with basketball, soccer, and things like that. But with golf, you could just have him on the range. As long as they could walk and
Yeah.
he can hold a club, I'll just have him putt.
Hmm.
Um, and that's probably what I will do in the beginning. Excuse me, especially to get out of the house more and use him to come on out and get some exposure outside. And bang the thing around. He loves just holding the putter, but we've had to take it away from him a few times because he's fallen with it, and it's like
Hmm.
okay, like it's not a light club. It's
Yeah.
like that head is pretty heavy, that metal is heavy, and he tries to gnaw on it with his teething and everything, and it's like that's not a chew toy.
Yeah.
But one thing that is cool though is I'll be putting in the house. I'll have my putter and I'll just be putting, and he'll see the ball. Sometimes he'll come and grab it before I putt it, and I'm like, get away, like let me. But other times I'll putt it, and he'll go and get it, and he'll like come over, and I'm like, hey, thank you, and he like hands me the ball. He's like, here, and I'm like, thanks.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think definitely probably golf will probably be the first one that we'll try. Besides of course like tossing a ball and letting him hit it in the yard, obviously, but
Yeah.
not like an actual organized kind of thing. But
I would say
yeah.
just get him a tee with like one of those rubber balls. I mean, if he's swinging things already.
Oh, he's not yet. He's not yet. He's not swinging. No, no. He doesn't.
Okay.
He doesn't use the club like a club. He just holds up. He just holds on it like this and walks around.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah, that's a bit
yeah,
scary. That's a bit scary.
yeah.
Just
Especially
also
when he's like
dink.
walking around like he had too much to drink, like, and he
He's
falls
like,
down, and
hey, also,
yeah, right. Oh, sometimes you're
yeah,
like, oh, how did you not hit
yeah.
yourself right there? But yeah,
No,
no,
I mean, with him already up and running, I'd already go over to Walmart and get one of those. What is it? Placey or
there's like little
Playco.
plastic ones.
Yeah, I'd be like, here, man, let it rip, dude. Like, have some fun in the backyard. Go get dirty. Like, let's get you
Well,
tired
that's
for
the
that
thing.
long nap.
We
For that
we
long
still gotta
nap.
we still gotta put together our backyard. I mean, it's the one thing about buying a brand new house that you're the first ones to live in is they don't tell you that it doesn't come with a backyard. It comes with the house, and like the house is expensive. I mean, not many people just buy a house and like, yeah, we can put another 500,000 into or 100,000 or 60 if you want to put in a pool. Um, and so that's another thing, man. Once that's all in, it's something. Tiffany said we're getting a putting green on the opposite side, so we'll definitely be able to take advantage of that, which is nice.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, I mean, what about you? What are you thinking on Adelina when the time comes?
I think soccer.
Yeah.
I think soccer for sure because I can already tell like with the way that she's eager to like move around and the fact that like dude, I can't tell you enough. So like this girl loves sports. When it comes time for like me to watch like the Warriors, right? Like
Hmm.
when we were watching the Warriors game on Sunday and we were watching game 7, like she was like locked in. And it's not like like a Miss Rachel locked in. Like I mean,
Uh-huh.
she's like whoa, like she's paying attention. She'll look at me and then she'll like look back and
Curry's
she'll
on
just
fire, huh, Dad? Curry's on fire, huh?
yeah,
Yeah, he's doing.
she'll just kind of look at me and be like, oh, okay. And it's the same thing like whenever we watch like Fat Perez on YouTube, we're watching the
Mhm.
good guys,
Yeah, I've had a few Rick Shields on there. I'm like, oh, you want?
yeah,
Sometimes I'll literally be like, Carter, look, Miss Rachel's at the Kings game. She's
yeah,
there, or
yeah,
like, oh, look, she's at the World Series. Miss Rachel said
yeah,
she's there. Just gotta find
yeah,
her. He doesn't know,
yeah.
but I mean, it's my little thing, and my wife
Well,
just gets a
yeah.
kick out of it every
No, no,
time.
totally. Dude, it's crazy. Like she loves it. I mean, even when she was little, like she would just sit, or when we were training her, like how to properly sit and build those muscles and the balance, like, and it was football season, like she was locked in. Even my dad was like, man, she loves sports. So I think she's going to be a wild one once she kind of gets her feet under her and she's moving
Yeah.
around. She realizes like, oh, I can go wherever I want, because my dad was always like, dude, you were just like, you saw what you wanted and you were gone. Like you were gone. Like we would have to whistle for you, we'd have to call for you, and I would always ask you, you here by yourself? You know, I'm like, man, I don't want Adelina to be like that. But I'll tell you this much, man. Like, I told my wife, I was like, I think we got to start getting outside a little bit more, and you know, get moving, because we got to chase down a kid soon.
Oh
You know,
man.
like it's
Yeah.
gonna be like 60-yard sprints all the time. It's gonna be
Oh
back to like,
man. Yeah, and the stories that my mom would tell me of just like how I don't know if ambitious is the right word, but like when you'll see when Adelina gets more into her crawling, her like what do you call it? A curiosity like stage, where she's opening everything, she's
yeah,
throwing things, she's seeing how the world works basically. It's
hmm,
like my mom would say like we had like a thing called tiny tigers. My high school was the tigers, and so like
hmm,
they would have like little toddlers, and for a way to help kids or high school students learn about child development and stuff like that, they would watch kids for a couple hours and get like credits for that. And so my mom said one time like she was picking me up and she was talking to a parent, and all of a sudden she turned around and then like I had 1 foot over the opposite side of like the fence that was like 8 feet high, and because of like the band was playing at like the football field, and I heard the band and the music, and I like, whoa, what's that? And I was trying to climb over there. And she's like, oh my gosh. Of course, I'm a boy. Every boy has like all these, bruises all over their legs because of falling, running around,
yeah,
jumping, and everything. But it's just like it's going to be interesting to see that come full circle
oh
and
yeah,
and man,
oh yeah,
yeah.
dude. No, like I mean, I have a similar story where, um, my dad, it was like for t-ball. It was my first season of t-ball,
Hmm.
and my sister and I, we were climbers. Like
Yeah.
we had a big old tree in the backyard, and we used to climb up there and get to the very top of the rope because we had a swing rope, and
Hmm.
we would literally climb to the top, and it meant like getting on top of the fence, grabbing the base of the tree, finding the next branch, literally pull yourself up, throw your leg over, then get to
The
the
safest
mid,
way to go about it, of course. Yeah.
yeah, literally get like to like the mid base of like of the rope swing, grab onto it, and we would like, as we jumped, catch it, and like that would be our momentum. So
Dang.
it was t-ball, I think, was playing for the Redwood City Indians, and my dad, like, he was like commissioner of the little league or whatever, and so he was having a meeting with the parents. I like walked away with my friend Albert, at the time. You know how some little league fields have like that over fence,
Like for the backstop.
like for, yeah, for foul balls and stuff, how
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
like kind of hangs over and there's like the
Mhm.
pole that's directly over the home plate.
Yeah.
I started climbing that thing. I was climbing and climbing, not even
Like while
realizing how
going
high.
backwards, the kind of
No, no,
thing,
no.
like
So
going
I
that way,
keep
or you're
no,
on
no.
top of it. You're on top
I'm
of
on
it.
top of it. I'm on
Okay.
top
Okay.
of it.
Okay.
So, so I started climbing on the back, and I was just going all the way to the top. Finally, I realized I'm like, I'm
I gotta
at the
get down.
top. Yeah, I got to get down. And so I was like freaked out, and so I was like calling for my dad, and all the parents were freaked. Like, oh my god, oh my god! And all of a sudden, I remember like it was yesterday. My dad's like, "You remember how you got up there?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Just one step at a time, one step at a time." And I was like digging my cleats like as hard as I could
uh.
into like the rubber cleats into like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
little gaps of, or the little, yeah, the little gaps of like the of the fence, and I was just one step, and I was like, I was freaking out, dude. Like it was so crazy, but yeah, man. Did you get to play any golf this weekend?
This weekend. No, I'm playing this Saturday at Riverside.
Okay.
I was going to go to the. What happened this weekend?
Riverside's going to be in pretty good condition. They got the city championship at the end of May.
Oh, good, good, good. Okay, I like to hear that. I hope it's not
Yeah,
crazy, because it's a Saturday weekend, slow. But
yeah.
but
It
what did I
probably
do
will
this
be.
weekend? Saturday. I think it was warm this weekend. No, it was mid 90s. That's right. So we went to the zoo on Saturday. I was too exhausted. I passed out. I was probably gonna go then, and then I was gonna go yesterday, but it got too windy, and I'm like, I don't want to go. Too windy. I'll go today. It was like mid 60s. But I went to the range for like 45 minutes. It was perfect. I was able to hit literally like 40 balls, nothing crazy, maybe 20 to maybe 30. But I'm like, okay, I'm playing on Saturday, and for whatever reason, dude, my wrists are still weak. I don't get it. It's the most annoying thing ever. I can't swing every day. Like if I wanted to play it like every day of the week, I can't. Like I just physically can't do it. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna hit a few short irons. I think I started with like my 50 degree, then I went to my 9. And I was like peering everything. I'm like, okay, this feels amazing. Okay, awesome. Probably like 5 shots here, 5 shots there. Then I'm like, okay, let's just work on my 3 wood and my driver, because my driver over the last like few months has just been atrocious. I had no control over it. I don't know which way it's going. And so I'm still also trying to get consistency on hitting the 3 wood off the turf. That's still one of the clubs that I'm just mentally not there. Like I can do
Think of it
it,
like think of it like a 5 iron. That's what I do. I just remind myself to take the same swing as I would with a 5 iron. Don't try and
but
get
it's so
fancy.
but the club's longer. That's the issue with me. That
Choke down. I do it.
But the thing is, today I was on fire. I was just smashing them, just pure. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good. I put it up on the tee as well, hitting that well, and then I went with the driver, and I was smashing my driver. And I'm like, okay, this is awesome. So what I do after is what I do. I've been working on my chip shots with like, because at Dragonfly you can chip onto the greens. So every time I go there, I try to work on my chipping. That's always what I want to do. Try and get better a little bit. Still struggling with getting the spin that I need, because my ball just rolls, and I know how it's going to roll, but I want it to be like that stop boom, and just really slow down. Can't get that to save my life. But I was doing great. And so yeah, that's what I did. I didn't play any golf. I was planning on going to the range over the weekend, but it didn't work out. But
Yeah.
went today for a little bit.
I went early. I went early Sunday morning with Tony. Went out and played. Got my ass whooped by him. Um, I just I just wasn't playing. I just wasn't playing my best. Like
Where'd you
I
play?
couldn't. We played Rancho Solano in Fairfield.
Ooh, beautiful course.
Yeah, yeah. So we went out there. We went and played. I know you actually know that one. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's the only one. It's the
yeah,
only one.
yeah. So we went out there and we played. The greens were fast. I mean, they were probably like at a 10 to like maybe 11 on the stem. They were quick,
What's the
and
highest the stem meter goes?
I mean, if you're not trying to be an asshole as a greenkeeper, I'd say probably like 11 for like a public course is maybe the highest you'd want to go. If it's like a
Well,
country club, you'll roll some at like 13.
and what's the
Yeah,
pros?
13.
What could it be?
I don't even know. I would assume just based on some of these putts where you see how smooth their stroke is, like
Mm-hmm.
it's got to be somewhere on like 13 and a half, maybe
13 to
maybe
14. Yeah.
yeah,
That's what they
to
say. 13
14
to 14 is
because I mean, you look at like there was a putt and there was a putt that Tiger had that was like 109 feet below the pin. He was wearing I don't remember where the tournament was, but he was wearing like this neon green. So it was like either a Friday or a Saturday. And I
yeah, not a Sunday.
remember, yeah, it wasn't a Sunday. And I just remember seeing how smooth his stroke was. Like he really didn't give it a lot, and the ball just kept going and going and going and going. All of a sudden, it just died right at the hole. I mean, when these guys hit their putts, they're putting to like a spot. Like there's like a spot that's
I know,
either
right?
4 feet in front of them, you know, maybe a cup, a foot, and that's it. They're like, okay, I'm gonna
Dude, it's
put it here, and
insane. I
yeah.
like I would love. I always thought it'd be really cool to have like a tournament at a legitimate public course. Not like a really really nice public course like a Pebble Beach, but like a Riverside
Well,
at
if you go play it, the either the week before, no, not the week before because they have practice rounds. If you go play it 2 weeks before the end of the month, so like either the 14th or 15th of May,
Mhm.
um, I guarantee you they will have them nice and like top dressed. So then that way they can kind of firm them up for 2 weeks down the road. But that will be like the closest because when they're
Where
top
at?
dressed
What
at
court?
Riverside,
Oh, gotcha. Okay, okay, okay.
for the city
Okay.
championship.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
But I don't know, maybe even I'm just trying to think of public courses that the tour plays on. But like, if you were to go play, I don't know, if you and Stephanie were ever to go down to like San Diego, right, and
Hmm.
you guys were to go play Torrey Pines. Torrey Pines on a regular rolls at about 11 and a half to a 12,
Dang. So that'd be a
and
legit
it's
one
yeah,
to get
that'd
a
be a legit
feel
one. Hmm.
for what how it's really
Or
like. Dang.
or if you ever get out to Copper River, I know Copper River during the summer
Hmm.
because they water the greens in the morning, but in the afternoon they'll throw an extra a little bit extra on it. But if you get
Hmm.
out there early morning, dude, that Copper River is a little underrated in my opinion. On how good that course is compared to like San Joaquin or
Hmm.
Sunnyvale. Like, but that's a nice track, and they take care of their greens really well.
Man, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, in the sense of like not fast greens, but like greens that are going to be inconsistent. They're going to have some uh, pitch marks in it. Like it's not going to be pretty. But to see a pro, obviously, when you're a pro, like you adapt really well to whatever the conditions are, compared to someone like me or you that maybe me more that takes a little bit longer to get the groove of understanding. Okay, how fast a green is actually reading when you're not used to it that way.
Well,
But
I'll tell you this much: what had me in my head was like the putting green at Rancho Solano. If you remember, like it's the fastest practice green you'll ever play on.
dude,
I
it's
mean,
the most hilly thing ever. It's
yeah,
literally like this. I remember putting. I'm
yeah,
like, where on the course are these greens where it's this steep? The only time I
exactly.
remember it on the course that was very hilly, there's a par five. We have the video. You record me, and I'm like, I think I use like a 5 iron, and I'm on in two. I'm on this par five and two, but I was on the bottom tier, and the flag was on the top tier. And dude, I'm like maybe 35, 40 feet away, but the hill is at least 2 feet high. And it takes time to get up there. It's not like crazy steep, but I feel like I crushed this. And I end up being like 12 feet short just at the ridge so it doesn't roll back. I hit three putt for par. I still remember. And I'm just like, yeah,
Yeah,
but I remember that putting green. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like,
yeah,
can I have a flat lie just to see
yeah.
how the ball's
It
going to roll? I don't.
it got in my head the whole round. I mean, literally the whole round. It got in my head, and I was just like, "What's going on? What is
Yeah.
going on?" I mean, I had some shots that were, I don't know, maybe 15, 10 in 15 to 10 feet, 10 to 15 feet, and I was leaving them short, or I was blasting them like six
Yeah.
feet by.
Mm,
I was like,
that's
oh,
the
but
worst, man.
but all day you give me a putt that was like 40 feet. I had a putt that was on number 11. I came up short, like literally the hole was on the back left side. I came up on the short on the right side. I had like a 60-foot putt. I just picked a spot, hammered it. I literally passed it by like 2 inches off the hole. Make my par, and I was like,
When you don't have to worry about it and you don't
yeah,
think you don't put too much stress, like I should make this or I should get this close. You're like, hey,
yeah,
I'm gonna try. Whatever happens, it's easier. It's kind of like that. I was talking to someone where it's like the 3-point shot. Like the Cavs, like during the playoffs, we got smashed by the New York Knicks. We our best players were even like the lights were brighter than we expected. And I'm like, I love the honesty, but I didn't want to hear that. Like, it's the first
yeah,
time in the playoffs. You guys definitely played like it. Game two, or no, game three, we went 15 for 39 or something like that on wide open shots for guys that can make the shots that they're shooting, not like a center shooting a three that he's not going to shoot. Like these are
yeah,
wide open shots. And it's like that feeling where it's like you're wide open, you better not miss it. Compared to someone's in your face, you have less worry because if I don't make it, they have good defense. So I mean, like it's just a good defense, and so it's kind of like that mental thing, that it's just
yep,
easily get in your head with it. I get that all the time. It's so easy. Everyone gets that.
yep, yep. No, totally. I agree 110%. And yeah, man, it just ate me up. Tony played great. Tony just had a solid day. So it was good. I got some video of him hitting. I was gonna post it on the
Yeah.
TikTok page. But um, yeah, I mean, hey guys, speaking of that TikTok page, we do have our Instagram link. So if you're throwing a bunch of likes and a bunch of follows on our page, like go check out the rest of our stuff. I mean, we
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
again, I know we're trying to get to that thousand followers, so in that way we can take this experience and bring it right onto TikTok and just go live and stream to all you guys, and you guys can gift us, tune in, ask us questions, and we can do like a live Q&A,
Hmm.
and even
I'd
invite
love
some of you
that.
guys on the talk. Yeah, it'd be sick. I
Hmm.
think there's
Hmm.
there's so there's so many of you guys. Like, we look at your guys' pages, and I'm even me particular, since I spend the most time. I'm like, you guys are doing some awesome videos, some awesome
Yeah.
videos. I would love to like collaborate with somebody if you guys are up in the North Bay. I know, like, we got the Bogey Boys down over in the Central Valley.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah, we're
some
working on
type of
something. Yeah.
collaboration. Yeah, it'd be
Hmm.
it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
guys.
one other thing I want to touch on, since we're coming up, not coming up to ending anything, but ending the episode, but Live Golf, they had their second tournament in Singapore this week, and Taylor Gooch again won. I think it's second tournament in a row. He won Adelaide in Australia, and then he won the Singapore. I believe. I'm almost positive that's what happened. Regardless, his world golf ranking went up 2 spots or went down 2 spots after that, and there's like a whole talk on that. But what I want to get to is he was venting his frustration with how much how much he actually received from winning. The whole thing about live is like, how much money you're going to win. One, it's signing. You sign, you get a bonus for signing with live, and that's why a lot of people left, guaranteed money. But on top of that, the purses, especially like right when live happened, the obviously PGA Tour average purse was maybe a million to 1.5 million, maybe two. As like the most a person can win in a non-major round, or non-major tournament, compared to live, where you can win 4 to 5 million every single tournament. There's no major, there's no one that's higher, one that's lower. But he was saying that he only received, when he won in Australia, he won 4 million. 1.9 of it showed up in his bank account. The rest was held from Australian taxes, which is like 47.5 or 48%, or either he received 48% or he has to pay 48% and in taxes. And
47.
it's stupid. It's insanely. It's really, well. Let me just say this: it's crazy. It's hard to grasp for Americans, for starters,
Yeah.
with how low our taxes are and how little our taxes do compared to where they are pretty much in the rest of the world. I feel like in Europe, everyone the average is like 25 to like 40%, and you got universities that are free. You got free tuition. You got all this free stuff, all this better healthcare, and all these other things that go on, but you don't think about it until you actually are someone that has a job and is working in another location, especially out of the country, because you do have to pay taxes on that out of the country. Just like if you're a baseball player in the MLB, you have to really have an accountant to track what the tax rate is for every single city you play in, because it is a little bit different. And technically, playing in a game is your workday. Just things that you don't think about as an average Joe. At least I wouldn't think about. And heck, I'd be mad if I lost half of my guaranteed money that I was supposed to be getting. I mean, what about you? I mean, what did you think about just seeing that and how much was taken?
I'm gonna be humble about this, but the fact that it's
Don't be that guy that said, "Oh, the fact that it's 4 million and he's like not happy about the 1.9." I
well,
mean, it's Taylor Gooch. It's not
no, I no no
Phil
I
Mickelson.
under no, I understand. I mean, and that's where I'm trying to say, like, I want to be humble about it. Like, it's still a lot of money, but
Of course,
again,
of
like,
course.
I think if you're gonna be playing in those types of areas, like, you have to know the rules. Just like when you go to Dubai, right? Like, people don't talk about it enough, but when you go to Dubai, you physically have to go through like a whole seminar of their rules, because if you break it, like, you're
Oh yeah, it's
you're
not just a
you're
slap on the wrist.
no, like, it's a crime. So that's what I'm saying
Hmm.
is, like, I would think that being a professional who travels all over the world and is like, gets the luxuries of being able to see these different places and play for a lot of money like that, like, I'm shocked that that comes to a surprise, and
Yeah, I
technically,
can see that.
technically, since it is like a winning slash an earning, right?
Hmm.
He doesn't have to pay the capital gain on it. So it's like
Mm,
Australia technically kind of did him a favor, but like if they were playing in like Belize or something, right, which is like one of the best places to like I don't want to say launder, but like you can store your money there and do whatever you want without any penalties.
Right.
That's a little bit different, right? Like
Right.
people, yeah, people who have stacks and stacks and stacks of cash, it's like they put it in
Hmm.
the Bahamas, they put it in Belize because these are areas that don't have any regulations for the
Yeah.
money that you put in, right? But Australia being that, yeah, it's literally a freaking island.
Hmm.
The population is very limited. Like every resource goes to it, just like how
Hmm.
people don't talk about it either, but like Hawaii.
Yep.
Hawaii has, you have a higher luxury tax there because everything is imported. So
Yep.
if you go and have a super nice like, surf and turf dinner, you're going to see a little extra gratuity on there, and as well as like the service charge that's already included because it's a luxury tax, because they're bringing over like this special stuff, and it has to go
Hmm.
through customs and it has to go through all this different stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I mean, I get that, but my thing that I've just been thinking about right now is I've met some people that have played NBA overseas. Maybe not. Sorry, NBA isn't the right word. Professional basketball overseas. NBA is in the United States and Canada. But when you play in some of these leagues overseas, whether it's like China, whether it's like Europe, whether it's sometimes in like South America, the tax rates are a lot higher. But if you get like a $1 million base salary, and let's say the tax rate is 40%, so you'd only take home 600,000 of that, what these teams end up doing is they actually pay that tax for you, so you take home that 1 million full guaranteed. So I would at least assumed, based off of live and how much money apparently they have, that wouldn't be an issue to be like, okay, well, here's 2 extra million to them, so we keep our players happy, and all these other things. But I mean, that's just where my mind goes, because we're not talking about someone like me or you or someone that owns a mom and pop shop that is scrounging to put this money together. These people, it's like basically buying a couple hamburgers for the family. It's not a dent in their wallet at all. But that was the part that I think was the most shocking to me, because I'm like, oh, it's not like a tiny little like not a tiny person, but someone with small funds. Like these people have funds forever. They can literally buy countries. It's like insane. So like,
Yeah.
why would that not? I don't know. Obviously, yeah, you have to do your due diligence in switching, to live from PG Tour, or making these moves, or have your manager or lawyer look at these contracts. But still, yeah, I would assume
I
that
mean, it's still $1.9 million, and who's Taylor Gooch?
you only know him because of his last name,
Yeah, I mean,
Gooch.
honestly, who's Taylor Gooch? Like
Right.
that would be my thing, is like, bro, if if you were on the PGA, there's probably a chance you're only walking home with maybe $250,000. Like,
But at the same
don't,
time, but you're just saying this is Taylor. Like, who is Taylor Gooch, right?
yeah.
Well, that could also be like a reason where it's like, exactly, I need to get as much money as I can for as long as I can, because I don't know how long I'll be able to ride this train. You know?
Actually, speaking of, I'm gonna make a quick little change here. Have you heard this incredible story about this guy named Michael Sweeney?
Go on. I might. I don't
So,
know.
this guy is a profession. He's a homeless, okay, homeless professional golfer. This last weekend, he had his final qualifier of the year to get his card to go into the Corn Ferry Tour. Apparently, this guy has been living in a Walmart parking lot for the last 2 years. Last 2 years.
Wow.
Um, this guy is, I think he's 27. I might be wrong on that. I think they said he was 27, but he wasn't making enough money to pay for rent and his car and to go compete. So for the last 2 years, he's been living out of his car, and like pays like um, a annual fee for some public course that he was at.
Hmm.
Um, but something amazing happened on Sunday. The guy shoots 6 under to win the qualifier to get his Corn Ferry Tour card.
Wow.
In the process, the man makes a hole in one on a 230-yard par three.
What?
Yeah. He makes a hole in one on the 230-yard par three. When the story came out about what he had been going through, apparently like his Venmo blew up. Like people were sending him money left and right, left and right. And we've talked about this before, but this is where like even Tiger has mentioned like the live could be a stepping stone
Hmm.
for the for players that are coming out of college, guys who were trying to get that shot to get
Yeah.
some money in their pocket to where ultimately when they do get to the PGA, they got fatter pockets to raise, to raise the purses on these tournaments.
Yeah.
And but still it's like, dude, you got to read into this guy's story. It's incredible. Like I
What's his
was
name?
Michael Sweeney.
Michael Sweeney.
Yeah. I think it's Sweeny.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing story. But I think, dude, this is like a forever discussion where you know people know the PGA has the money to like
Right.
fork out and pay people, but they got to pay the board, they got to pay the the networks and the broadcasting companies and everything,
No,
right?
the
They got to
networks
pay
pay them. Don't the networks pay them?
only
They
some,
get
but they
their
still
rights and everything?
maybe, I don't know. You might be right, but still, there's a lot of money that they got to float around, right? And so it's like, dude, you got a guy who's literally like grinding his entire life, and you're telling me you can't give him like like a small signing bonus, right?
Well, right,
Like,
right. Yeah, I
welcome
mean
to
it.
PGA. Here's a piece.
That's. I mean that to me. That's just like the MLB with minor leagues. Now they finally have contracts, and they finally are actually allowing minor leaguers to live with a reasonable wage, like not like $500 a month, or like
Yeah,
$600 a month, and not including taxes or paying the clubby or all that stuff. Like and and a lot of meals aren't paid for, but like now they finally are able to because it's like same thing. They have just as much, if not more, money, but and you're telling me like you can't fork out for your farm system, like the amount of people that I've heard that have just like tried to make it to the MLB, just baseball, like not even golf, but for like 10 years off of that salary and somehow have a family. I'm like, how are you able to do that unless like you have like your family or people that are just help or like a wife that's able to cover all the the expenses because it is not cheap. Baseball bats break. You need new bats. You need new cleats. You need like it's not cheap, and it's just insane how some people were able to do it. And when they finally get there, obviously they're more than set for life. I think if you make it to the MLB for one day, you automatically are set for life with their health insurance. Like you don't have to pay for health insurance at all. They'll always cover your health insurance, which obviously is nice, but I mean, it's not the main reason why people want to get to the pros. But it's just crazy, like with these multi-billion-dollar industries, whether it's PGA, whether it's NFL, whether it's NBA, all this extra money that that they have. Like the NBA literally are subsidizing the WNBA, so they're making tons of money, and they're doing
yeah.
that out of the kindness of their heart. But yeah, like you said, like they have the money, and that's the downside. They're just paying outrageous salaries that, in my opinion, shouldn't be paid. Like to the board members and to all these people that are behind the scenes, that all you need to do is just have the top players or some of the best players and some of the worst players on a board, and give them a little
E-
incentive and ask them what
X
they need.
players,
It's
X
yeah, or
players.
and ex players, yeah, but they don't even need that much. It's all like I mean, the what, more money more problems kind of a thing, where like the more money you have, the more problems you have, you more things that are going on. But yeah, it's the way the world works, and it sucks.
I mean, personally, I think it has, it has gotten a little outrageous with some of
Hmm.
these contracts.
Yeah.
I mean, to say that someone is making almost $500 million, for sports, it's like, how much more do you possibly need? I mean, some people dream of just $1 million, and here you are collecting 310 million with with 48 million guaranteed.
Hmm.
Like
But then
that's
you got
unheard of.
taxes. It's
Yeah, but
crazy. You got
but again,
taxes, but
like
then,
but
but
again, you're telling me that some of these guys don't have the best tax. I don't even know what you call them, like tax CPAs.
accountants.
Yeah,
Yeah, CPAs. Yeah, yeah,
CPAs.
yeah.
Like you're telling me they don't
To
have the
find the
best
loopholes.
CPAs. Yeah, I mean, come on. If Donald Trump can do it for years, if freaking Hillary Clinton can do it for
Well,
years,
right,
like,
right, right. But like as an athlete, your body is obviously your moneymaker. So like
yeah,
the amount of money that LeBron James has put into his body just to keep
here's
it in the shape that it is, like millions of dollars. It's insane.
but exactly. So that's exactly my point. Is like when it comes to like your sponsorships, you are you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, you're marketing
Contractor.
yourself. Yeah, a
Yeah.
contractor. So you have a 1099 coming in every year,
Hmm.
right? So even though the MLB is paying you, it's performance based,
Hmm.
right? It's
Hmm.
performance based, strictly performance based, and the sponsors in which you're getting are also giving you money. So you have like people don't talk about it enough, but like you have your employer taxes, which we are all familiar with, and then you have
Hmm.
your entrepreneur taxes. Those entrepreneur taxes, as long as whatever it is that you have is going into like your entrepreneur tax, like these people could write off their homes and say that their home is like this is a part of my brand, right? Like their cars, the met the wellness of their bodies, the training, like this is all part of what I do for my business, and it's all tax, you can write it off. So
Right, right, right.
again, that's where it's like, how are you getting all this money, and yet you see some guys who don't, like, they don't have a dime left.
Well, that's the thing. When you, I mean, from what what I would assume, if you get all this money thrown onto you, if you come from a poverty home or a middle class, like you're not used to seeing a lot of money, you get it as like an 18, 19, 20, 21 year old kid. Like, dude, and then you have all your friends all want to hang out with you. Then you want to be cool, be that cool guy that's taking them to clubs, taking them to cool vacations, and they're not paying for anything. They're expecting you to pay for everything. It's really easy to get sucked into that, and then once your money's gone, your friends are gone, or they're not. You'll know who's your friends or who's not. But it's really, in my opinion, at least when it comes to contracts, I'm always for the players. I'm always like, no matter what, I want the players to get as much money as they can. I don't care what it is, because the people that are paying them, the billion or trillionaires that own these things, they're basically hoarding them off like cattle, and they're making the fans hate on players for like, oh, why do you need that much money? Come on now, be a team player. And it's like, well, at the end of the day, everyone wants to win, but you're so limited. You're one ACL tear away or one UCL tear away from not being yourself or getting that same amount of money away. And you don't know when that day could be. Everyone has their day. We don't know when it
Right,
is.
right.
So, I mean,
I mean, if
yeah.
Madison Bumgarner can breach his contract and go ride dirt bikes and still make $100 million, hurts himself, injured, out for the whole
That's
season, and
very
still make
crazy.
$100 million, like, I'm telling you, bro, these guys know how to work contracts. They're agents, they're CPA people, they're lawyers.
But you would
They
think on the other end too that they would know how to write these contracts so they can't find the loopholes, right? Like if you put so much money into something, you would think.
but if you're putting someone else who understands the same verbiage that
Hmm.
the MLB or the franchise general
Yeah.
counsel is writing to, like, you're not going to fool anybody. They know exactly what it is. Like, they'll be like, dude,
Right.
and I mean, even the insurance, even like the risk management people for these franchises, where it's like, well,
Yep.
Mike Trout
Hmm.
is the hardest working guy. He runs, like a bear on cocaine, like whatever. It's like
Cocaine
he
bear.
he yeah, he has a higher chance of hurting himself here. So maybe as a way to protect him and his family, we should give him more upfront. Being that he is the face of the or of the
Hmm.
franchise. It's
Yeah.
like there's all these different things. Like, it's crazy. I mean, dude, this is, you know what? Now talking about this is a perfect conversation to bring Zach back on and have him talk about it, since he's with the A's.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, because
Well,
I'm
especially with
telling
the
you,
A's moving, especially with the A's going to Vegas, man. It's freaking
yeah,
crazy. But yeah,
yeah,
no, definitely with him seeing, especially with him being probably a part of the minor leagues before their deal, and now with the minor leagues. I'm not sure if he's in the pros right now, but like if he's still in the minor leagues per
no,
se,
he's over in yeah, he's with AAA right now.
Yeah, so I mean, now he's making more than he ever has,
Yeah.
and he's seen the other side of it. So yeah, that comes full circle. So that'd be awesome to get it back on the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like this is definitely a good spot to end it. I mean, we had a solid episode here, and anything else you want to touch on before we close out?
I think again, guys, just you know, we like we said, we really want to bring Four Dads podcast to TikTok to, further engage with you guys and be more interactive, with everyone. Um, so make sure you follow our accounts, our Instagram, Spotify, YouTube. Obviously, you're following our TikTok account. Um, we got some big things coming in the near future here. I think we might even try a different platform to actually be able to chat with you guys and do stuff as well too until we can hit that thousand follower mark. But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean nothing else. Just stay fly and go low.
Yes, sir. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah. Take care, guys.